So this is in. I mean, I didn't intend to lock this in right now the way I did, but it is rock solid. The floor is in. Nice flat floor. I kept the factory carpet and insulation because mine was, if you look at the pictures, it looks a little stained, but it's clean. There's no smells or anything. When I pull up the carpet, the floor was clean. One spot where the chair locked in, there was some, like somebody spilled a soda years ago. Wipe that up, no big deal. So it worked out good. You know, you always want to start with a floor and then you make yourself some squares here because you can hold up your panels that way and then you know everything's square off the floor. Real easy, you don't have to buy anything, you can make it. And this here, I'll show you the inside of this in a second. Everything's changed with this design. Initially I wanted a bed that folded down here and a cabinet up here. I had a cargo van in the past, Astro van, that I drove across the country several years ago, 3-4 years ago. And I had a deck here that I slept on. I'm 5'9", I mean you barely fit that way. You sleep a little cat a corner, you're fine. I have to do that again because I need this area here. This is 13 3/8 of an inch. And I need this area under here to slide my tools. And I realize now, I guess that's going to be okay. I'm going to have to put rails that rest upon this. I was kind of thinking about putting a cleat here. Anyhow, everything's going to work out fine. But underneath this deck, with that height, I can fit my table saw. I'm going to make a couple boxes, like 13-inch tall boxes that stack, and then a dolly, and then the chop saw will rest on top of those two boxes, and those boxes are going to be 20 inches deep by 24 inches wide, and that'll hold almost all my tools that I need, other than my tool tote, which will be separate, and my hardware tote, which is separate, and all of that should be able to fit underneath this deck. That's important for me. I still need to carry my compressor and the chop saw that I'll make a covered box for, so that when the chop saw's in here, there'll be a big box over it, and that'll be like a piece of furniture inside the van. The swivel's supposed to be here by the end of the month. I could swivel that thing around, then I got a box to put my feet on or something. So, and I'm hoping to keep this area here kind of open. But that's what's happening. So it's linoleum, real linoleum. So it's naturally antiseptic. And then the other thing I'm going to do is once this one's in, I'm going to get this measurement. I think I'm going to do 2. I don't know if it's going to be an indoor outdoor carpet. You know, the thing about doing some sort of oil-based product, and I'm not Joe Hippie. I mean, I am kind of a hippie to a certain extent. Hippie warrior, man. Hippie warrior. But I'm thinking maybe I find something that's maybe a wool. Maybe you can find some old wool Persian rug or something for nothing and cut it. I'm thinking about 2 pieces that'll be about 4 by 4. This way you can take one out and shake it out, but then things won't slide around as much. I don't know. I might have to put a rubber pad down to keep things from sliding, because this is slippery. That's the only thing you don't think about until you get it in there. But pretty stoked. Let me show you the inside of this cabinet. Nothing to it. It's taller than I initially wanted, but it's good because you can see here there's height above the wheel well here. So there's a huge thing, you know, I can put long items in here across the top. So the plywood holds itself up, and then there's just nailers that are nailed from the front with some glue, and then it's screwed to the floor. I can pull these screws up, the whole thing comes out. I will make a block here to attach this here, I think, just to make it strong. And this was funky because it's a compound angle. It is fatter at the bottom, narrower at the top, and it's a kooky, like it's like a 35-degree angle. I kind of eyeballed it, worked out fine. 45 here. Now, I'm trying to make some decisions here. I may put a hole here, make that like a cubby to reach into. I considered putting a hole here as a cubby. I considered cutting that out and using the piece as a door. Because, you know, when the bed is up here, you still want to be able to feed into this. So, I'll think about that. I always could come out and redo it. But for now, I've got a ton of stuff that's out there by the garage, you can see, that all needs to come back in the van. So, I need to put that stuff in here so it's not rolling around and it's out of the way. Same thing here. This piece will be going in next. I'm going to go home for lunch now, and then I'll come back, get that side done, and then I'll figure out how the lids work and everything else. I have some leather, and I have a huge hide and then some scraps, and the hide will get most of this. I'm considering spray gluing leather to the front of that, which I think will look real sharp, real cool. Anyhow, that is what's happening.